Good evening from the State of Kuwait. Welcome to the 7 o'clock news for Friday, the 19th of December 2014. I'm Dalia Badran with the headlines for tonight. The UN Secretary General lauds Kuwait's government over accepting the Iraqi government's request to postpone compensation payment. Kuwait Airways Corporation receives the first Airbus A320 plane as part of a deal to upgrade its fleet. Kurdish forces break the IS siege of Mount Sinjar, claiming their biggest victory yet against the militants. Pakistan's military kills dozens of Taliban militants near the Afghan border days after a massacre at a school in Peshawar. Hello and welcome. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon expressed appreciation to the State of Kuwait's government over accepting the Iraqi government's request to postpone Iraq's obligation to deposit 5% of its oil proceeds into the fund until January 2016. The Secretary General's press office said in a statement that Ban Ki-moon expressed strong solidarity with the government and the people of Iraq currently facing a severe security and humanitarian crisis. The stance has encouraged the international community, including countries in the region, to further expand cooperation and support for Iraq at this challenging time. Meanwhile, Kuwait Foreign Undersecretary Khalid Al-Jarrallah announced on December 17th the state acceptance of Iraq's request to postpone payment of the last compensation installment amounting to $4.6 billion. Iraq has paid compensations to Kuwait for damages incurred as a result of its aggression on Kuwait in 1990 and the 7 months occupation of the country. Kuwait Airways Corporation, the KAC, received the first Airbus A320 planes as part of a deal to upgrade its fleet. Kuwait Airways signed a final agreement to lease 12 Airbus A320 jets and buy 25 aircraft as part of the airline's fleet renewal strategy. The KAC's chairperson and managing director, Rasha Al-Rumi, said the delivery ceremony was held yesterday evening at Airbus headquarters in Toulouse, France, noting that the national carrier will receive the second A320 plane next Monday. Al-Rumi added that KAC will receive all the leased and bought planes by 2022 as scheduled. The Arab draft resolution presented on the table of the 15-member Security Council is likely to get the needed votes amid Palestinian optimism. Fatima Abdul Karim reports from Ramallah.
Palestinian officials from Fatah movement stated that they feel optimistic about receiving the 9 needed votes for the Arab-Palestinian draft resolution presented by Jordan to the UN Security Council, allowing it to pass through to the final vote. Although it is not yet set, Palestinians hope this will be done soon.
We have been consulting with all member states since 3 months. Our goal is to reach consensus since the resolution is in line with the international law and the past UN resolutions. So, there is no excuse for objecting to the resolution.
Palestinian diplomats seem to be satisfied with the results of their diplomatic campaign, which is garnering more international support, last of which was getting a majority of 180 votes for a UN General Assembly resolution calling for Palestinians' right to self-determination.
This means that the Palestinian question has become an important issue on the world's agenda, and that the world is looking for solutions to end this conflict and ending the complications of the Israeli occupation.
Officials have also reiterated that the leadership's second option, in the case the resolution fails to pass, is signing the Rome Statute and joining the International Criminal Court. Despite the high hopes, the Palestinians are aware that the U.S., being Israel's strongest ally, will put its effort into halting the resolution, and if not, will veto it, limiting the options ahead of the Palestinian leadership to pursue their struggle for an independent Palestinian state, which the world has recognized, but they still need to turn into a reality. Fatma Abdelkarim, Kuwait TV, Ramallah, Palestine.
Thank you, Fatma. Iraqi Kurdish forces battling militants from the so-called Islamic State group managed to open up a corridor to Sinjar mountain following a massive two-day military operation. The corridor has freed thousands of people from the country's Yazidi minority who had been trapped there for months. The development was an important step in the battle to retake the town of Sinjar at the foothills of the mountain, which fell to the IS group in early August. Chancellor of the Kurdistan Region Security Council said the Kurdish forces advanced in battle, establishing the passageway to the mountain on Thursday. Tens of thousands of Yazidis became trapped in the mountain in early August when the IS captured the towns of Sinjar and Zumar. U.S.-led airstrikes on the IS targets in Iraq in recent weeks have killed several of the group's top leaders and are disrupting the Islamist group's operations. Senior U.S. officials said that between December 3rd and December 9th, the airstrikes killed the chief of the IS military operations in Iraq, as well as an important deputy to the IS leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Officials added that another strike in late November killed the group's governor in the strategically important city of Mosul in northern Iraq. The continuing campaign has taken out several of the group's senior and mid-level commanders, and U.S. officials believe the airstrikes are beginning to significantly weaken the leadership structure of the IS in Iraq. The strikes are also thought to have had an effect on the IS logistics and finance operations. The Pakistani army said it has killed 67 militants in clashes in the northwest, including 32 in an ambush in a remote valley near the Afghan border. The ambush took place overnight in the northwestern Tera Valley in the Khyber province, one of the main smuggling routes for the arms and insurgents crossing between Afghanistan and Pakistan. The military also said that 17 militants were killed in airstrikes in Khyber and 10 in ground fighting. The military has stepped up its offensive against the insurgents in the provinces of Khyber and North Waziristan. It says it has killed more than 1,700 militants since its current offensive started in June. Security in front of a school in northern Pakistan remained tight today, 3 days after dozens of children were killed in one of the bloodiest Taliban attacks the country has seen in years. Taliban gunmen broke in and began shooting, killing at least 148 people, including 131 students. Anger escalated across Pakistan as fresh details emerged about the Taliban's attack on the military-run school. Karachi residents today gathered at local mosques to pray for the victims during the weekly Friday prayers. Croatia's foreign minister urged Turkey to maintain its interest in joining the European Union today following a meeting with Turkish foreign minister in Ankara. Turkey's progress in its membership negotiations with the EU is of essential importance. The minister is on a visit aimed at improving bilateral relations between the Balkan nation and Turkey. She praised Turkey for taking in refugees from the Syrian conflict and discussed economic ties between the two nations. Australian police said 8 children were today found dead at a house in Cairns in northern Queensland. Police said a 34-year-old woman who was the mother of at least 7 of the children had been taken to hospital with stab wounds but was stable. Police have not confirmed Australian reports that the children aged between 18 months and 15 years were stabbed. The officials confirmed that there was no cause for public concern. They have not made any arrests but said the injured woman was assisting with their investigations. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta today signed into law a controversial security bill which saw MPs trade laws in Parliament. The law was passed on Thursday during a chaotic parliamentary session, with opposition MPs warning that Kenya was becoming a police state. The government has said it needs more powers to fight militants threatening Kenya's security. Somalia's Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab group has stepped up attacks in Kenya. The new anti-terror legislation requires journalists to obtain police permission before investigating or publishing stories on domestic terrorism and security issues. Spanish police today cleared off streets around the headquarters of the ruling Popular Party and are searching for possible explosives after a man rammed his car into the building. Police officers, firefighters, and ambulances were on alert in a nearby road in apparent preparation for an emergency situation. The driver has been arrested, and the police spokeswoman said bomb disposal experts were searching the area after 2 gas cylinders were found in the car with an unidentified substance. According to local media, the man admitted attacking the party headquarters because he had lost his business in the economic crisis. Kyiv's military said today 5 Ukrainian soldiers were killed and 7 wounded in attacks by pro-Russian separatists in the past 24 hours. The death toll is larger than normal compared with recent weeks. A September ceasefire has been repeatedly broken by both sides, but shelling lessened significantly this month, fueling hopes of de-escalation of the conflict, which has killed over 4,700 people since April. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov criticized a statement by Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko on ending Ukraine's neutral status as confrontation rhetoric. For a chance to see our reports again, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. Before we end, here is a quick reminder of today's headlines. The UN Secretary General lauds Kuwait's government over accepting the Iraqi government's request to postpone compensation payment. Kuwait Airways Corporation receives the first Airbus A320 planes as part of a deal to upgrade its fleet. Kurdish forces break the IS siege of Mount Sinjar, claiming their biggest victory yet against the militants. Pakistan's military kills dozens of Taliban militants near the Afghan border days after a massacre at a school in Peshawar.